So next is our stomping triangle, and this is, for me, for years I would call this the easiest move in Jiu-Jitsu and one of the coolest. I learned it from Mark Lehman at a seminar 15, 16 years ago, and the next day I competed and caught it. It's such an easy move, such a powerful move, and if you saw our triangle submission chain volume, this is the triangle setup that we use most of the time just because it's such an easy one to get into. So this one works whether the person's on their knees, one knee up, or they're standing. We're going to show it standing because it's easier to understand some of the concepts here. So if Stefan's in my spider guard here, again, we're dominating grips, we've got pressure here. We can think of spider guard almost as forcing him to be a marionette. We create these gaps between his elbows and his hips that allow us to shoot our leg inside. So what we're going to do is pull this grip off, let our toes relax so that they slip under his bicep, and we're going to start setting up a triangle. But the key detail is that I have to stomp the other leg. If Stefan doesn't come down, it's important that I bring my hips all the way up to his. Now, I'm not just going to try to catch the triangle. You notice my hips fall. So one thing when I teach, if you've seen that video Stefan and I did on the arm bar on YouTube, I'm big on using your leg as a base to help yourself hang. So from here, I point my toes to the side, I flex my foot, and this hook with my hamstring, my right hamstring curling, allows me to stay up. Now I want to switch angles. We know that we're on the wrong side for a traditional triangle. So I'm going to use Stefan's arms. I'm going to push them this way. That's going to help me rotate my legs. From here, I'm going to slide my right heel down his back in order to switch my leg configuration and then get into a triangle. This is actually an incredible way to practice hip movement, whether for gi or no gi. That little transition. It's almost, Sean Williams talks about the gi being like training wheels. And the idea is that we're here, boom, we're hooking strong, that foot is flexed, and this is important. Here I feel a lot weaker for keeping that hamstring heavy, or that my weight on Stefan. From here, the key is that in order to do this switch, I have to slide my calf down his back and bring my hips all the way up. Common mistake is for people to just do this and try to lock it up. I want to bring my hips, notice they're totally to my left, I want to bring them totally to my right. This movement, to practice that movement, is invaluable. And this is such an easy place from which to practice it. It's going to allow you to catch triangles and switch your angle very, very effectively. Now, if Stefan's on one knee or both knees, the move doesn't really change. It just becomes easier because he's already lower to the ground. But notice, say Stefan is on the ground and he comes down a bit. I don't get lazy. I still bring myself to him. I'm bridging. Notice my left hip is as high as it'll go. I'm coming as close to him as possible. I use the arms as a purchase to help me rotate my hips, and we lock up, ready for whichever triangle finish we've practiced.
So you're using all the same leg and hip motions. It might just be a little bit more subtle than it is, or a little bit less obvious than when.
Less obvious, and specifically what's less obvious is how much I have to lift my hips. When you practice with a standing partner, it's really obvious that you have to go very high, and that's a super important piece of this move. Now, when you're doing this, when you're the partner on top, it can get uncomfortable to be standing like this for a long time. So make sure you keep that arch in your back, you stick your butt out. That's going to keep your back safe so that you and your training partner are both healthy and safe the whole time.
With regards to shooting your hips up, there's one thing that I'm not sure that people would have noticed from the angle that we were at, is after you shoot the first leg through, you're bridging off of this arm.
Yes.
You're not bridging off the ground. It's forcing my arm down, which is then setting up this leg coming over that arm anyway.
Exactly. So, very good point. So we're here. If Stefan came all the way down and he was just a wet towel, wet noodle, then yeah, I'd be bridging on the ground, so you might not need to lift your hips much at all. But totally, I'm climbing him. I'm stomping on him. Now, because my right foot went under and I'm stomping on his bicep, as Stefan pointed out, my left leg is already ready to go right away into my attack. So very, very high percentage. This is probably maybe the move that I've gotten more than any other in Jiu-Jitsu. And I think if you incorporate this and the kite sweep into your game, automatically you're going to have a very, very dangerous spider guard. All right, let's take a look at that one more time at full speed. So we're hipping out.